So welcome to our study of the book of the prophet Ezekiel, one of the major prophets in the Old Testament, along with Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Daniel. It is a challenging prophecy covering a very specific time period, 25 years during the Babylonian exile of the 6th century. And the thing that we know about Ezekiel is that he was given visions from God, visions of justice and of the restoration of Israel and of the downfall of his oppressors. You get a real sense of his feeling of injustice as his people have been dragged into exile and sit by the rivers of Babylon and cry out to God and wept as they remembered Zion. And Ezekiel tells them God's message that Zion will be restored forever. A very difficult message to read, and I encourage you to read through the whole thing just to get a sense of Ezekiel's visions and of his sense of injustice and his search for righteousness, for God's righteousness for Israel. Now, as I thought about the book of the prophet Ezekiel and that sense of justice, one film came to mind, the film with Harrison Ford, The Fugitive. And it's a great road trip. Harrison Ford plays the role of Dr. Kimball, falsely accused of the murder of his wife, who seeks justice and has this overriding sense of injustice. Quite rightly, he's been convicted for murder, a murder he didn't commit, and he knows who did it. It was a man with a prosthetic arm, because he fought with him on the night of his wife's murder. And so we follow this great road trip, being chased by the marshal, played by Tommy Lee Jones. And eventually it comes to a great climax, and I'm going to have to leave it to you to decide what happens. Meanwhile, I guess I better be on my way too, as we head down the road with Dr. Richard Kimball, seeking justice, as we may all feel as Christians, along with Ezekiel, seeking God's righteousness in the world. So whilst I get myself set up and head off, I'm going to encourage you to watch the trailer and enjoy The Fugitive with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones.
I came home, there was a man in my house. He had an artificial arm.
Are you saying that I killed my wife? Are you saying that I crushed her skull and that I shot her?
Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. We have a fugitive that's been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injury, is 4 miles an hour. That will give you a radius of 6 miles. What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or dog house in this area. Checkpoints will go up at 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimball. Go get him.